Welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Show. Now, we all have personal experiences. Life has happened to us. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful, all put together. And sometimes those experiences form some part of what we are and how we react to situations. Now, today we're looking at how you are constantly, or they are constantly sabotaging their relationships. How do you even know that you're doing this thing? Zulu.
You know, one guy was being healed by our Lord that did a withered hand.
Yes.
Now, withering is a funny thing because it weakens and folds.
Okay.
It doesn't cut off.
Mm-hmm.
It's there, but it's weak and folded.
Okay.
And what he asked him to do is something many of us should always learn to do. Because he asked him to stretch forth your hand. The healing power is here now, but now I want you to exercise something else.
Okay.
Stretch forth. Many of us suffered things that made our hearts wither, weaken and fold. People have been done what they call character development,
Yes.
a baptism for heartbreak and shattering trauma. And because of our culture of joking with everything.
It's a meme here. It's a joke there.
You know?
Yes.
We have this tendency of just making fun. We think if we make fun,
It will go away.
Now people have made the Will Smith slap. You know, if somebody if somebody comes there, I will Smith you.
They will smith you.
Yeah, you know. And the guy is struggling with the stress about it.
Yes. He's actually been admitted now to a rehab center.
And later on we'll discuss some of the things, but I'll tell you, that was not him. He was enjoying the joke.
He was.
Him and the guy had a freeness that allowed some savage brotherly thing. You know, sometimes I host shows with brown male guys say, I notice when you host with ladies, you are careful.
You better be.
Guys have said, I need some rawness.
You and brother would go.
You know, brothers have a savageness.
Yes.
When you have a secure guy with you, you can drop things raw as they are.
Yes.
And some guys will say, those kind of slaps have their place. We did that. So I tell him, you know, he got busy with his job. He's a very busy thing. I told him, one of these days you should sneak in. We drop a few raw things.
But we'll make it a 3-man show. That will be fantastic.
When a lady is around, you have to, guys, so good morning. It's in our instinct some tea, please. So, when you go through trauma, because you don't use the right language, we have confused the language, therefore we have obscured the truth. Breakups are deeply traumatizing, and they don't affect all people the same way.
No. I just had a thing. I mean, just talking about how deep it goes. It's just.
And it's so lonely. The person who should have comforted you is the one who's breaking you.
Yes.
The other people are telling you, no problem. You know, the word is like that. Be strong.
And at that point, the one person you want is the one who broke your heart.
What people don't realize is that heartbreaks are very lonely.
Yeah.
Because you are being ripped away from the person who had become a part of your days. You even can't see where you will go. One of the awkward moments after a breakup is you wake up to find your phone, the only notification is fully charged.
Disconnect from charger. Oh, that is savage.
You know, you're used to waking up to misments. Somebody missed you, try calling you, what's up, you know. All of a sudden, your world looks very empty. And you start forgetting where your phone is. Then before, it was always in your heart. Because you had somebody to talk to and check on. The aftermath of breakup is usually very empty as well. But even the thing, it's all, you can always remember the time the bombshell was dropped. And you feel like you're numb. And I'm talking about people who love sincerely. When you love sincerely, you're fully in. That's why the breakup shakes the whole you, because the whole of you was in. And remember, this can happen when you are the one who had to quit because of how much they betrayed your trust, how much they hurt you. Sometimes you're the one who walked out. And even when you walked out, you sit out there bleeding. Remember we say, you can leave, you can walk out, but get stuck right outside there for long. Walking out, stepping out of the thing is one thing. Getting the courage and the journey to go is another one.
Yeah.
Many people left, but they're still stuck. It ended, but you also ended.
No.
There are some people who manage to recollect themselves physically and mentally to continue with career and life,
The end.
but not emotionally.
Yes.
So after so much bleeding and pain, they swear at the height of the pain. They swear by their grandmother in Tufiako, never again, nobody will ever.
Did you Tofia us?
There are people who swore. You know, many people, the rawest one was the first one because they're very naive.
Yes.
And the pain, you realize it has no painkiller.
No.
Panadol can't go there.
No.
Headaches can't go there.
Nope.
Those are for physical pain. This one is emotional pain. And you just have to feel all of it. And it feels like you are there are tongues of death.
It's never ending.
And it has waves. The first wave comes and goes. You're able to distract yourself with other things. Then another reminder comes. And you know, somebody said, when you're widowed, it's painful, but it's not as painful as when you're divorced, because when you're divorced, the one thing dies, but the one who killed it remains around to remind you. When you're widowed, there is closure.
Yes,
So this
closure.
person who brings
Yes.
you this pain walks on the earth. And some are inhuman enough to follow up with other bundles of attacks.
Yes.
And so we are discussing this thing where people experienced a pain. And what I've described is breakup from a relationship.
Yes.
You can also be hurt this way at home. You can be disappointed this way by your parents. The wrangles and how they burden you. Sometimes, like first daughters or first sons, they're not directly beaten up or harassed, but they are forced to carry the family.
Okay.
Because the parents are so dysfunctional, fighting. Things are left. Kids are not attended. Nobody to cook at home. So often things are, nobody to perform duties. You have to step up and do things. And it's very exhausting. Other people, they were hurt because they had to carry their parents emotionally, think for them, decide for them. To this day, their parents who communicate through the daughter, through the son. Please call your mom, tell her to. Call your dad, tell him to. How come he did not? Ask for this money. Ask for the other one. Ask for this. There are people who over the years have been so fed up with this idea of marriage and they can't imagine it. We'll focus on those who came from romantic heartbreak.
Okay.
These others who came from vicarious injury, hurt by the marriage of their parents, by the absence,
Yeah.
by failure. That kind of treatment it follows a different schedule.
Okay. Okay.
It follows a mentor reorganizing to tell you that was a sick marriage, that's how not marriages are.
Yes.
But you who loved sincerely and you got hurt,
Yes.
many times you arrived at your own things quietly. Now, the right way when you're being hurt, when you're being heartbroken, is to seek treatment and get straightened and heal in the right shape. When a bone is broken, sometimes if they don't straighten it, it will heal while bent.
Yeah.
And it will never be, it's no longer painful, but it's not normal. It doesn't function well. No longer hurts, but no longer works.
Yeah.
Many people's hearts, they healed while twisted, with a conclusion that love is a scam. Anybody showing you love, they're setting you up to whip you.
Because that is what happens.
Some people have a knee-jerk reaction to run away when you start falling in love with them. Knee-jerk. They can't even.
That is the truth. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
the trauma of the last time they were so dropped, they feel like as if you are naked and you are thrown into fire. It is so painful that the memory itself gives them chills. They never sought the help of physicians, emotional physicians, psychologists Africa, we minimize the place of mental health.
Yes, we do.
And yet we are still passionate about love and sex and relationship.
Okay.
You want the food, but you deny the poisoning. That it occasionally happens. If you are eating, can you please accept food poisoning can happen in my cause of eating?
Yes.
Love poisoning also happens.
Yeah.
Let's normalize seeing therapists and life coaches for your own self. Start with your personal. I've done so much therapy myself, and it was out of my academic programs. I've done 75 hours. Whoa. 25 for masters, 50 for PhD.
What?
Yes. When they're training you, they want you to go to therapy and feel it and process any lingering unfinished business to avoid transference to your future clients.
75
Yes.
hours?
Yes. So when I hear people saying, therapy, I say, my friend. And I was paying for them. It's not free. They want you to go buy, get it done with certified practitioners, bring the letter. It's not free. So some of the things here, we sell them because we also bought them. You know, yes. And it was always minimum qualification. In fact, you're given a list to choose. They have done their surveys and qualified who is qualified. And anybody who's doing those courses, degree they'll do 15 hours or 10 hours. Okay. Masters will be 25 hours. PhD, very many hours. Because of the level they're training you, you know, the degree they're introducing you to that practice. Yeah. You become a practitioner.
Yes.
When you master, you're becoming an expert. You have masters in it, becoming an expert. But when you're PhD, you're an innovator, you're a creator, you are a field leader. You're supposed to be now bringing new knowledge. So that is a waste to study PhD and just going to regurgitate what was published. Publish on things.
Yes.
Innovate, be forefront there. You know, some of you are lazy just studying this for wrong reasons. Yeah. You're wasting. Can you go home? If you're just getting this to get a promotion at work, you can get that through other means. Get out of here. They were very ruthless with us. They're telling us, we are teaching people and you're not seeing change. Because you're not using the equipment we're giving you. They're telling us the doctor title itself gives you respectability. Working somewhere, people expect you to bring novelty. You know, yes. You can't go this to doc. Okay, I have not yet completed it, but I saw the end and I saw how people, it changes your mind. And they were being taught, if you're studying this and your spouse only stopped at degree. They started by warning us that your family can break because you advance very far ahead of your partner.
Oh, wow.
It's not a bad thing, just a good thing, too much gap. You know, and they sponsor you, but the kind of stretching will do for you here, it will be, you will find nonsense intolerable, normalcy, and mediocrity will be annoying. So when people don't think, you get irritated.
Okay.
Because of how much training we did there. And you will be given, one of my lecturers at masters, not even PhD. PhD, it was another thing of being asked what you believe. They asked you to just justify it. So what is your religion? Me, I don't have a speech about relationship with God. What's your religion?
Yeah. Yeah.
Religion is a category of human. You know, human have arts, they have science, then they have religion. So in terms of this category, such human category, where do you lie? They brought us to basics and made me see the world in a larger way. So they made innovation part of us. There's professors would come with nothing, no book or nothing, just ask you where we left. Those guys, and they would tire your head when they're laughing. You know, you come out of there feeling hungry and angry. And the guy would run your head all the circles, would just smiling with a chalk, with a pen, writing a word, and laughing at all you are struggling with it. Later it shows you it is just here. The kind of development you do, the kind of growth you do as a person, how far it takes you as a person, it comes to affect how you connect with people. Now, many of us went that way. I remember I saw many of us who became that committed to this aspect of life. Yes. Because this other side, we have lost faith in it.
Yes.
I brought these higher degrees of learning and how it transformed us and where we went and the therapy we underwent and how, for me, it was academic. Many people go for therapy to heal and learn what they got it from, where they went. If you do it right, it makes you better than who you were.
That is true.
I tell you the truth, there's a level of what we are studying here, what we are teaching here, that you can undergo, and it makes you like as if you have attended a master's of sorts. Thomas Edison did not study the traditional class. He learned on the job like we are learning now. The lessons we are teaching here can amount to so much growth. It's as if you have enrolled for PhD or masters or something. And when you reason with the people, that's how far it has taken you.
Yeah.
What if you did not respond that way? The consequences of heartbreak are extreme. I studied it and realized the problem is it does not leave your room to remain normal. Who you were before a pervasive, permeating, deeply touching heartbreak will never be here again. That is the problem. Either you avoid opening up from there.
Yes.
Learning requires vulnerability, ready to be wrong and expose what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Learning is very emotional. People think it's only intellectual. You don't just take your head to class, you also take your heart. Because ideas are very emotional. What you believe in defines how you see the world. And you want to believe it's true. Your ego is part of it. You know? And part of why you go to learn, you go to submit to therapists and coaches, you have to swallow your ego. And if you think you don't want to be corrected or shown another way or challenged, you will not show up. And part of why I would go for therapy and say, and for just 15 minutes, they will throw a question and see you struggle there with it. Because they know that unless you struggle that way, you will never define your stand in that area. And they don't want to feed it to you. They invite you to struggle with it until you can see it. Other times they give you the several philosophies. Many times they're not defining, they are opening your eyes to decide your decision, make a decision this way. So to say, once you go through a pervasive heartbreak, if you don't heal, it makes you stay there for 30 years, 40 years, for the rest of your life. If you heal, it makes it impossible to return there and to keep on moving.
Okay.
So you either stand still, or increase speed. You can't continue the way you are after a pervasive heartbreak. That's how people who left dating after the painful breakup and they went to careers for 15 years, became director, they come back making teenage mistakes and they are 43. They stopped there. They are still misreading red flags. They still think they can change people's minds. They're still investing money to make people love them. They're still giving second, third, fourth, 10th chances. They're still begging. They're still bootlicking. A 50-year-old man still being played by a 21-year-old. He had left dating because of heartbreak. But because he left, he never learned. He is still naive as he was. He has never visited this area again. He's been to career only. You see women who are making blunders that are embarrassing. Everybody can see this is a lie.
Yes.
You should be a grown-up, my friend. Where have you been? She has not been in the dating space.
No.
She left for 20 years. She has a daughter now. You hear them being played by the same guy, daughter and mother, because the mother never grew. So many of them may disown never to come back. Eventually, the hunger for connection overwhelmed them.
Okay.
The pain subsided, and the desire for comfort increased. And so they end up sliding back without planning and preparation and any improvement.
It's just sad.
Yes. I'm explaining why people are asking how come an adult is making such blatant mistakes. They end up getting 5 children with different men. You see a baby daddy of 7 children, and he looks like a sober man, just like me, of 7 children with different mothers. The first mistake disoriented him, and he did not undertake to unearth, face it, forgive, correct, accept, release. He never faced it that way. He started avoiding. He ended up having one night without planning. Somehow tipsy, pregnancy again. Somehow pregnancy again. This way, same traps. I have met men being run around, and their life is so intensely stressful after just one mistake. And in the mix, there's one. They usually meet good women who want to give them genuine chance.
Yeah.
They still blow it up.
Yes.
They still blow it up. In fact, many of these you hear of many babies, baby mamas, children out there. They have met 1 or 2 sincere women, or 1 or 2 sincere men. So, what is the solution then? You could be sabotaging yourself because you have abandoned, you have downgraded and despised the place of healing. The place of healing and returning to normalcy, the ability to open up, takes courage. After you've been hurt, to give your heart again takes courage. Learning and adjusting what you had done wrong previously.
That is so true.
And if you neglect that, you remain with that. And the uncomfortable part is the healer may not tell you, now let me wave a hand on you. Who you tell you stretch your hand. So that part of telling the man to stretch his hand It's the uncomfortable part we don't want. We have to exercise where we were hurt. The massage, the therapy goes where the pain landed.
Yes.
And you don't want anything talking about that. Don't talk about that. So there are many people today who are dating using their biology, no longer their emotions. No, not the heart, just the body. They're still getting children, they're still...
Yeah, society expects me to be settled.
Yeah.
Now let me just do it for them.
Yeah. And many of them are immensely successful because after the pain, they usually went.
They put the pain in
Yes.
something else.
And they worked hard, never to need anybody again. And they worked. But they lack balance, and you can see the utter lack of balance. It becomes generational. They raise children when they can't teach them how to handle their own emotions. And when they can't explain why they are so disorganized. Eventually they need a painkiller. They take alcohol. They'll look for something to fill the void. If you don't cure the first pain, Mary, it will spread. It complicates. I have seen it. And you come to see a person the way they have suffered multiple accidents after the first accident.
Yeah.
They're injured here, injured there, injured there, injured there, injured there.
Yeah. And we look at it and we're like, oh, bad luck.
What is the solution? For as long as you are alive, you can change.
Okay.
That is the good news.
Yeah.
The only deadline is death. It's called deadline. If you are alive, if you are alive, please just change your ways. I've met guys who told me, man, I have many children out there.
Yeah.
But they came during a period when I was sleepwalking. To me, I was sleepwalking through life. There was the first girl who I dated for long, and when she finally left with an insult, I lost myself. And without knowing I lost myself, I focused on my career. He's a producer of music.
Yeah.
And he produced the finest music I've heard around. Finest. Because he focused 24/7 in his studio. Hit song after hit song. You hear hit song, you ask the singer, tell go to that producer. Producers play a lot of role.
Yes.
The technical part of music is also very important.
Yeah.
So well, hit song after this. For like, is it 10, 15 years? Forget about women, focus on work. Still dreaming about the girl had left with his child. My child in South Africa, because the girl was moving all over with a new guy. And later on, he started to slide. Biologically, not emotionally.
I like how you clarify that.
You get more. Then another baby. He's still not ready for a relationship. Take responsibility. Money is not a problem now. Later on, another one traps him. Later on, by the time he wakes up, 5 babies.
Oh God.
Scattered all over. When you look at him, he's a very reasonable man. A guy who would converse and he has a lot of sense of life. Not drunkard, not womanizer or anything. Pain can disorganize your life even when you are previously a very level-headed person.
Oh,
you don't cure it. He's the sweetest guy. Honest. Sincere, generous. And you know, the more generous you are, the better target you are, you fat cow.
Oh my! So this is the opposite of the other one, where you close up and you don't date and you don't touch men or women. You just put in the work. Then there's also the other effect of, I made a mistake, and then now, I mean, I was hurt. How about I just go on a hurting spree as well? You just go hurting people.
He is not vengeful.
Oh, okay.
He's not vengeful at all. Very nice person.
Oh.
But because of his niceness, he would mentor people, touch others, help them produce songs, emotion. By the time he wakes up,
5 kids.
And you say, man,
how did I get here?
He's waking up somewhere midlife. There's so much mess in the background. Oh. But because you're still alive, we can change things.
I like that.
And finally, those are some of the cases that were very satisfying to work with.
Yeah.
And you find him now having a very stable marriage, happy. He has reached arrangements to take care of his children, has built his career.
Yes.
He has found a woman who has had her own share of blows of life, but who's also level-headed.
Yeah.
It's a very sweet story to see at the point when he woke up, he's still destiny, still had a chance for him.
Absolutely.
So as long as you are alive, stop giving up.
Yes.
Don't become suicidal, depressive, give up, quit. As long as you are alive. Eternity is too long. Don't rush there. Eh? Mugali, don't rush there. There is waiting. But if you go, you'll be forced to wait for us. And you will feel cheated.
I'd rather be here with you.
You will feel cheated. Because you rushed ahead of Kinan Benjamin.
Yes.
Now you're being told, don't worry, your generation is not generation. Just wait.
Oh.
The time assigned for me to be here, I only have the grace for being here. There's no grace elsewhere. You rush, go there, and you'll be bored. So, take all the time here. Don't rush, don't quit, don't kill yourself. Exhaust your work. When you finish your work, the grace will move with you to the next level. So don't say, oh, I've given up. Oh, no, 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 no. And there's a group I've not addressed today. There are people who abandon developing themselves and they go hoping from man to woman to be carried. Those ones are confused elements and their case is hopeless. Today I'm addressing sober people who made sincere mistake. To hurt them so pervasively and deeply, they nearly altered their DNA, how they view the world, their mindset, their frame of mind, their view of love in life. Took them very long. And many people did not see counselors because they don't know any.
Yeah.
Many of our counselors are surely they're just people who lacked a job and they said I'm also a counselor. So they did not get any meaningful training. And when you talk, you don't get the gist. Today we have many options. If you just Google, you find. Google life coaches, you find. Google. So ask people to pay attention today to their own healing. If you break your leg, you don't say, I don't know any doctor. I'll just stay here. You go until you get a doctor. Yeah. Yes.
I like that we're talking about this now because I don't think anybody has ever told me, with all the heartbreaks probably I've gone through, nobody ever told me the need to heal that way. It was maybe a distraction there. You'll get through it. Sita, I went through the same. Even Nani went through the same. You've grown up seeing people in your life, they've gone through the same. They somehow, somehow. But then there's something deep within that needs to heal.
Exactly.
That we're not the same. That now you base everything that happened to you and you carry it to the next relationship, if you will.
Exactly.
So it's a burden you're carrying around. It's just heavy. Exactly. You're slouched. You're just like this.
And without realizing it, people think you're strong because you managed to move on.
Yes.
Sometimes withdrawing emotionally may look like strength. But really, it's an handicap. You stopped failing. You're no longer failing. You closed that department. But you can't live life in a fragmented way. No. Sooner or later, you'll be forced to revisit the muscle you neglected to develop. Then you make bad blunders.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I hope you guys have learned so much from the conversation that we've had today. And personally, I don't think I have ever thought to consult or heal in that way. So this is just, it is mind-opening. It's just, we need to heal so that we do not hurt others, because when you hurt, then you go around just, leaving fragments of other people as well. So I hope you have learned that as well. So let me see what you said about this, Zulu. And you say you must heal the root to cure the fruits. If you do not unlearn and remove this programming, you'll never experience love because you're repellent to it. And who doesn't want to feel love? So let's get to the root cause so that the fruit is beautiful. That is all we had for you today.